couple of days ago, I got into a pretty heated discussion with my dad, and it was about the value of the internet. Now, it all started with me telling my dad about a podcast that I was listening to. It was featuring a guy called Peter Diamandis, who, in my opinion, had very visionary and inspirational ideas about the future of the earth and the future of mankind. And he said that one of the most valuable resources for our species, for the human species, is the internet because it allows us to share all the information and all the resources that we have. And I was super excited about all these great thoughts that I got out of this podcast, and I was telling my dad about it, and not only about Peter Diamandis, but also guys like Mark Zuckerberg and Peter Thiel, and all these great people who accomplished so much, in my opinion. And then my dad was like, "Well, did they really? Did they really accomplish a lot? I mean, a guy like Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook has more than 3 billion users by now, I guess. But how much value did he really add for humankind? How much did he really contribute? Is it really such a great thing that we have Facebook? How did that really add value?" And first of all, of course, I was disagreeing with my dad. I mean, my dad is 74, and to be honest, he knows only a tiny fraction of what is really going on online and what is really possible with that resources online. But um, after thinking about it a little bit more and a little bit more in depth, I actually had to agree with him in at least certain aspects of his arguments. Um, it is true that Facebook connects all these people and gives all these people the chance to interact, but most people use it for bullshit most of the time. Let's be honest, if you look at your timeline on Facebook at any given moment, 95%, maybe even more, will be pure bullshit. It will be status updates that you're not interested in, of people that you maybe barely know, that you just randomly met one night and you exchanged Facebook contact details, and now you get all these updates from people you don't give a shit about. Or you get weird pictures from their daily lives, you get updates from their vacations, you get updates how their cats are doing and whatnot. Nobody could care less. Who the fuck gives a shit? So you have all these really great resources like Facebook. I still believe it is a great resources, but people use it for exchanging non-relevant information with each other. And I think you really have to take a step back, and that's what I did after that discussion with my dad, and look at what the internet is really good for and what not. So, in my opinion, the only thing the internet can be used as is for sharing things. And it has to be seen merely as a tool. That's all it is, I think. The internet is just a tool, and we have to stop using it as something we get something from without knowing exactly what we want from it. A tool is something that can only have a purpose if you give it a purpose. If you take a wrench into your hand and you want to fix something with that wrench, it can be extremely useful, but only because you have a purpose before you took that wrench into your hand. and you have a clear vision, a clear goal of what you want to achieve with that wrench. You would never just pick up a wrench and expect that wrench to entertain you or to tell you what to do with it. You have to be the one in control. You have to be the one who knows what to do with it. And I think it's the same with the internet. The internet is an incredibly powerful tool when it comes to sharing things. We can share things more quickly, more efficient, and with more people than ever before with the internet. But it still is merely a tool for sharing. And we have to be very aware that we have to be the ones who actually fill the internet with value. We can share value in the form of exchanging knowledge, exchanging information, but it still has to be developed in real life. It still has to be developed by us. And then we can go online and say, okay, I want to share this. Or we first have to come up with a question, something that we want to solve, something we need help with. And then we can go online with that purpose and say, what resources are available to fix that particular problem that I have. But we have to be the one in charge. We cannot use the internet as something we get validation from, as something that we expect to get something from without giving something first. So what I mean by that is that we should stop seeing the internet as something we turn to whenever we want to get entertained, like most of the people, me too, including me, do on Facebook, for example, or YouTube for that matter, or Twitter, or Instagram, or whatever, YouPorn. It's all just mental masturbation. It's all just getting entertained and not having that clear intent, what we actually want from the internet in that particular moment, what we want to get out of it. We just get into that rut, into that cycle of constant consumerism, of not even knowledge or information, just plain bullshit. And in that particular point, I definitely have to agree with my dad that this is what most people do most of their times online, and that the internet, as great as it is as a tool for potentially improving the world we live in, improving all the circumstances of living for each and every one on this planet, I truly believe that. We have this great resource and we use it for looking at fucking cat pictures. So it really got me thinking, this discussion that I had with my dad, about being more purposeful when I use the internet and really using it for those purposes, mainly at least, that I claim the internet can help with. So keep that in mind.